Hello and welcome to iMoney News. I'm Mari.
And I'm Bob.
Today, Brad will be discussing the basic introduction to the iMoney Coach system and how to live in balance. He'll talk about the 5 life segments, how the life segments affect finances. He'll explain the life stages and how to go from survival to success.
You know, you have to ask the questions. Are you working finances or are finances working you? I'll tell you, this is exciting stuff. You know, when we talk about finances, a lot of people are just so mired in paying the credit card bill, paying the electric bill, paying all the different things we have. And maybe if we've got a little bit left over, we take the family out to dinner. But there's a lot more to this. And especially in these times, I think it's so important to know that there is a method to all of this madness that we call it. You know, the 5 various stages that they were talking about, you know, the spiritual, the physical, the emotional, all of this plays into it. So I'm very excited about this.
So am I. Let's hear what Brad has to say.
You know, I've been working in the area of finances for over 20 years in several different levels. One part of my career, I was an educator for a nonprofit organization. We traveled around teaching over 800 seminars with a team of us, over 800 seminars a year in different levels of finances. We taught budgeting and debt elimination skills and even beginning levels of investments for the purpose of helping people build a foundation for their finances. When I left that career and started my business here at iMoney Coach, I hired a market research company to go back to all those organizations that we taught for the purpose of understanding what amazing work we did in teaching all these levels of finances. And what I discovered was something very humbling. It was that we had pretty much zero effect on a long-term basis with the people that we trained. Not only was that a very large blow to my ego, but it was also very important to understand why it was that we would put so much information and so much very good information to these people. Why didn't it change their life? Why didn't it make it so that they could do their finances in a way that they would be pleased with? Well, several years later and multiple numbers of hours of research and analyzing, what we've discovered is that when people are struggling with their finances, very rarely is it a financial issue. Typically, it's one of what we call our 5 segments, and that is in our spiritual life, in our personal life, in our relationships and work, and then lastly, financial. What we found is that if somebody's struggling with one of these first 4 areas, their spiritual, personal, relationships, or work, they'll use their finances to come in and artificially support those weak areas until finances fall apart. And at that point, they show up in my office saying, "Help, fix my finances." Well, if we just concentrate on fixing finances at that point and we don't address these first 4 areas, we're going to make it look really good, and we can create really cool colored charts and show them when they're going to retire and show them how they're going to get out of debt and all the cool little plans that they're looking for, but it's not going to change anything because we're not addressing the issue that caused the struggle in the first place. So that's the process that we look at very closely and very detailed wise to be able to figure out where's the weak area and how do we help build that. So in that process, we have learned several things. We've gone back to some of the old studies that I used to do in college and studied Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And I don't know if you remember that in any of your studying, but Maslow had a very interesting process of taking somebody from the point of survival in their life when you're a baby. You have to have everything done for you. Survival up through his, I believe it's 9 steps, up to what he calls self-actualization. It's not really the process, but it's the theory that we operate on with our finances, is that we also start at the level of survival that Maslow started out. You're surviving in your spiritual life or personal life or relationships or work and finances. But what that means is that you can't do anything on your own. You need assistance or help at some level. That survival level, to move from survival up to what we call stability, taking that step, that requires proper habits. Now, some people say habits are bad. I personally live my life by habits. I call them systems. But what's so important is that you understand what you're doing in each one of those 5 areas every single day to grow to stability or to maintain stability. To make it from stability to success, that next level is basically attitude. how we think, how we carry ourselves, how we analyze things, how we understand things. Those attitude is very important to move from stability to success. And then finally, to move up to what we call significance. Significance to me is a permanent reflection of your success in somebody else. So what you're doing is you're teaching, you're training, you're changing your priorities from you focused to somebody else focused. To move up to that level, that's the priority adjustments. That's just taking what you know from your success and delivering it to somebody else. Going through that process, if we can get that working properly in each 5 of those areas, what it does is it takes the pressure off the finances and helps us do amazing things with finances and helps you reap the benefit of that. If we can take the pressure off of money being sucked away into these 4 areas and free that up, you develop financial success in a much greater way. What I would encourage you to do is when you go through this course, I know that this course is going to be a little bit different than what you had anticipated because you started going through this for the purpose of strengthening your finances, and here we are talking about your spiritual life and your personal life and your relationships and all those things that you really don't want to be talking about or even thinking about. Those are the things that you really need to analyze and say, what do I need to do to build up to a point of at least stability in each one of those areas? When you're stable, and you're not having to steal finances to make it so that you can be in this place. This place is this amazing place that everybody that I've ever talked to in life wants to be. And that's the reason why we're taking money out of our finances, trying to artificially support these things. And this place is a place that I would encourage you to look for. And that's a place that we all look for, and that's called I Love My Life. You just want to be in a place where you love your life. You know what you wanted it to be. You know what you need to do to get it there. It's just making the sacrifice and the effort to get there. So when you go through this course, analyze the course, figure out what you need to do to truly change inside to free up your finances so your finances can grow. When you get through this course, you're going to find that the next course is going to build off of this. So take your time on this and analyze it, and we'll move forward. That pretty much wraps up our life balance segment. Please take the time, analyze what you need to analyze, do the homework you need to do to be able to get the most out of this course, and we will see you in the next segment. Thanks.
You know, there's an awful lot of information there, a lot of good stuff. I think I'm ready to take the plunge. How about you?
I think I am too. I'm Mari.
And I'm Bob.
Thank you for joining us for iMoney News.
Goodbye.